Welcome back, everyone. Welcome into Celtics pregame live. I am your host, Rob Haytayan. I am with all my co-hosts, Dean Angelo, Justin Lowe, Seamus, aka Celtics every day. Guys, we got a big game tonight. In a normal season, we wouldn't really consider this a big game. Celtics versus Magic tip off at 7 o'clock. The 2-5 Boston Celtics are playing the 2-6 Orlando Magic, guys. Like I said, kind of a big game here. There's some different things on the line that really Celtics fans got to look at that we don't normally have to look at, but something this season we have to. Now, last game, Celtics obviously blew a 19-point lead against the Chicago Bulls. Justin, what does this game mean in a entering this game mentally? What do the Celtics have to do to kind of stay on track?
Well, I'm actually going to pull this up because I said this in our group chat this morning. I says today's huge in my opinion. Magic have a fantastic young group of talent. There's no denial in that. We saw it twice in the preseason. They gave us both games. They gave us both great games. But we can all agree that this is a game that we should take. Now, I'm not guaranteeing this because we know that the Celtics have had trouble against any teams, whether it's against teams like the Lakers or the Cavaliers or the Pistons. It hasn't been easy. Now, you come out of here and you go on this road trip booming. After Monday, they all claim to be pissed off and ready for the next one. Well, show that tonight. Let's see what all those words meant after the press conference, right? We hear Marcus Smart calling out the Jays. We hear Emu Doka saying, you get booed off the court 3 times. We're pissed. You see Brad Stevens come out and say, well, we saw Jalen, Jason, and Marcus go out to breakfast with each other, and they were talking about it. They were all laughing, having a good time. So, let's see how all that transpires here tonight. Celtics got a big one against the Orlando Magic, tipping off a first night of a back-to-back.
Yeah, it's huge. Implications are a little bit different. Like I said, not necessarily a tough matchup in terms of, Magic aren't really a team you'll see in the playoffs, but the Celtics could use a win as they're on a 3-game skid here. Now, Seamus, recently Jason Tatum has really struggled, and what I mean really struggled, I want to share a stat with you guys here. Now, Jason Tatum has played 37 clutch minutes, which is defined by when the game is within 2 possessions inside 5 minutes. He's played 37 clutch minutes, right, which leads the NBA. No one has played more than Jason Tatum. In those clutch minutes, he has shot 7 for 25 from the floor, right?
Oh
1 for 9 from beyond the arc, with 3 assists and 4 turnovers here, right? So Seamus entering this game, obviously we hope that there's not going to be clutch moments, but what does Jason Tatum kind of have to do throughout the course of the game to kind of get back on track here?
He has to make the right decisions with the ball, while also being good defensively. 2 different sides of the ball, but he's been bad on both ends of the floor, especially offensively late. Jason Tatum, especially in that Chicago game, it looked like he was doing too much at the end of that game. He wanted to hit a home run every single play, and for some reason, we talked about this 2 years ago with Jason Tatum. Why is he taking so many mid-range shots all of a sudden? It doesn't make any sense. Those are some of the most inefficient shots in the NBA. We all know the 2 most efficient shots in the NBA, 3-pointer or around the rim. That's just what it is. Tatum, he does a good job of being aggressive, but off those aggressive moves, he doesn't make the right decision. And for him, it's all about decision-making moving forward and hitting the open guy or taking it all the way to the rim and finishing. That was also a huge glaring thing about the whole team the other night in the 4th quarter. Guys just were not finishing their opportunities whatsoever, and including Tatum. He was 1 of 8 in the 4th quarter the other night. That cannot happen again tonight. Hopefully there's no clutch moments, as you said, but Tatum has to be much better all around.
Yeah, without a doubt. Now, Ian, on the flip side of things, right, Jason Tatum has not been the best throughout the clutch moments, right? But we've seen Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum go on their kind of runs as they take turns. We saw that in the first 3 quarters. Jaylen Brown gets you 10 straight. Jason Tatum gets you 10 straight. What do we need to see tonight between the 2 of them, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, so that it's more fluent in our offense?
Honestly, I feel like we need to see the 2 of them interact a lot more on the court. It feels like when both of them are on the court, it doesn't seem like there's much action going on between the 2 of them. Like, I mean, there might be like the occasional like pass to one guy, but there really doesn't look like there's any real chemistry on the court. And I mean, as much as we had our own opinions on what Marcus Smart said, I mean, he's kind of right in a sense where, these guys got to learn to pass a little more. And at the same time, I feel like they just have to be consistent. Like, I mean, it's not the easiest thing to say. I'm not out there playing, but at the same time, I mean, you got to find some level of consistency at some time.
For sure. That's something hopefully starts tonight, right, guys? Like, it's a good opportunity just to get the basics down. Like I said, this Magic team really isn't a team you should see in the playoffs. It's not a team that you would normally see as a good, like, same level as the Boston Celtics. But, it's like Justin said, they got a bunch of young guys that are going to play their hearts out, so they're a solid team at the same time here. But this brings us to our key matchup of the game, and it's one that you guys might not really think of, but we were talking about it in our chat before the game, and we were kind of discussing, and something kind of struck me. Jason Tatum has not won his key matchup of the game at all this year. Between whoever he's guarding, like I said, DeMar DeRozan 37 points last game. So the key matchup for this game is Jason Tatum versus Terrence Ross. Obviously, Terrence Ross is not a guy of the same level as DeMar DeRozan here, Justin. But what does Jason Tatum need to do to win this matchup here tonight?
Well, we kind of talk about this every single game, right? Tonight, you got to go out there and you can't be complaining about the calls. I was watching I believe it was Boston Sports Tonight over on NBC Sports Boston, and Chris Mannix was there, and he was talking about, well, look at these calls that Jason Tatum's complaining about. If you go back and look at the film, there's a majority of them where they're not even fouls, right? Don't forget, there's rule changes now. Basketball, it's no longer you step on somebody's toe and it's a flagrant 3 and you're out of the game, right? There's no more of that right now. So there's a lot more physicality. Maybe it will take Tatum a little bit of time to adjust, but enough with the complaining, throwing the arms up, and it just seems as if the Celtics, it's a lot of 4-on-5 on the defensive end because Tatum's so slow to get back, and I think that's a huge key. And all four of us know here, Terrence Ross is one of the biggest Celtic killers in the league right now. I mean, he has it, whether it's preseason, whether it's in the bubble, or whether it's a regular season. Terrence Ross kills the Celtics every time. So Tatum's really going to have to get after it defensively tonight.
For sure. Now, Ian, another matchup I think that's not the key matchup, but it could be, is kind of Robert Williams in Wendell Carter down here. And not only just Robert Williams, but also Al Horford and kind of Mo Bamba. These both teams have two sets of bigs that are all four of them are very skilled, very talented, can do a lot of different things here. So what do the Celtics need to do tonight to win this rebounding battle against the Orlando Magic?
The easier answer would be put yourself in position to where you can get the rebound. But at the same time, I feel like you just need to be aggressive. Don't be committing, 10 fouls down there. But at the same time, you got to be somewhat aggressive to get into rebounds. Mo Bamba, I remember watching him in the preseason. He looked like Joel Embiid out there. That's how insane he looked. And I know it's just preseason and, it's not going to be every single night. But at the same time, you really do have to be aggressive when it comes to down low, because both of these guys, Wendell Carter and Mo Bamba, can kill you at any time.
For sure. Now, Seamus, something I think that is huge for the Boston Celtics, right, is clean injury slate, right? There's no injuries at all. Third time this season, second straight game in a row, right? But for Celtics fans, if you're not a Celtics fan, you might be like, okay, so what? But that's huge because especially over the past year, we haven't seen a clean injury slate. However, in those both games where we have been healthy, we're 0-2. We have yet to win a game. So what do the Celtics need to do tonight to kind of, utilize everyone's kind of role?
Well, first off, they need to gain extra opportunities. And by doing that, they have to create turnovers. And the Orlando Magic, they're 28th in the league in turnover percentage, which is obviously the third worst. And in opponent turnover percentage, they're 25th, so fifth worst in that category. If the Celtics can gain extra opportunities by both creating turnovers and capitalizing off those opportunities, they'll have a much better shot at gaining a rhythm, gaining a cohesiveness, gaining something that they can take with them from this game. Because thus far, through this, we're 7 games in now? From each game, there's something to take away. However, the negatives have outweighed the positives abundantly.
Yeah.
And tonight, the Celtics, they have a real shot at basically running a practice, per se. The Magic are not a good basketball team. The Celtics need to take them seriously, but the Magic are a team they should beat every single time they play.
Yeah.
With this amount of talent on the team. So creating turnovers tonight, getting that practice, hopefully, it comes in the third quarter, fourth quarter, we can shut the game down early. That's when it really comes, because that's really the next step with this team. If we can do that, they'll be in a good position moving into tomorrow night against the Miami Heat.
For sure. Like you said, tomorrow night, Miami Heat, that's a big one. So, kind of especially Al Horford, let's get Al Horford rested. Let's get him out early. You really don't want it. You don't want these guys playing anything really above 30 minutes, I'd like to say. 32, max it out. Especially the Celtics lead the league in most overtime games played. So let's hope that's not the case here tonight.
Double overtime games played.
Yeah, so
it's almost like we played another game.
Yeah, no, I know for real. So, but that brings us to our keys to the game tonight. Now, Justin, what is your key to the game?
Well, Rob, we kind of talked about this earlier, and rebounding, right? If we remember that Toronto game, Celtics not only got out rebounded, but they got absolutely smacked around in the offensive rebounds. And for you people watching, listening, whatever you may be doing right now, if you did not hear this stat about the Chicago game, make sure you're holding on to something, because this is absolutely ridiculous. Not only did the Celtics get outscored 39-11 on their home court and blow a 19-point lead in the fourth quarter, but they also failed to get even a single defensive rebound. A single defensive rebound in the fourth in 12 minutes. Celtics went 12 straight minutes without a defensive rebound. That is extremely, extremely depressing. And there's no excuse for that. I don't care who the opponent is. And tonight, my thing is rebounding. Like, Rob, you said it. Mo Bamba. Ian, you said Mo Bamba's been so dominant. Rob, we talked about Wendell Carter Jr. This is a dominant young core front court they have here, and they could really dominate the Celtics tonight. And we need Robert Williams, and we need guys 1 through 15 to rebound the damn basketball. Not Peyton Pritchard. Dennis Schroeder is a fantastic rebounder for his size. So we need guys 1 through 5 in the lineup to get after the boards tonight.
And yeah, tonight, keys to the game.
They didn't want to talk over each other. They always do it.
I thought Rob was gonna set up to the next person.
Oh no, sorry.
Yeah, Rob's the distributor.
I was letting you guys take it.
Well, yeah, but my key to the game tonight, you have to play to win if you're the Celtics. You have to go out there and compete. There's no reason that a team should ever grab a 19-point lead, an NBA team for that matter, grab a 19-point lead and stop competing, because that's exactly what happened the other night at the TD Garden. The Bulls went 13 of 16 in the fourth quarter.
That's like 2K numbers.
Yeah, 0 defensive rebounds for the Celtics. Granted, they only had 3 opportunities. That is straight up not competing whatsoever on the defensive end of the floor. And I said it right before this pregame show on one of my posts. What you do on defense affects what you do on offense. And if you're continuously giving up buckets, you are going to want to hit a home run play on every single offensive possession. And when you get into that mindset, you start making the wrong decisions, the wrong plays. And for the Celtics tonight, they have to continue to compete on both ends of the floor, and especially defensively, because if you look at the fourth quarter the other night, that is where their mishaps really, really started, and it just bled all over the court, and that's why we got the result we got. So tonight for the Celtics, effort, play to win from the jump, the whole 48 minutes. Please, I'm begging you guys.
All right, so my key to the game is a little similar to that, but I guess not really. But at the same time, my game is treat this game like it's a regular primetime game. Treat this game like you're going to be on ESPN. Play up to your competition. Please, I know it's the Orlando Magic. I know they're not supposed to be the best team in the world, but right now, neither are the Celtics. So you have to treat this game like it's a legitimate game. You know, we've seen them, especially that first game against the Wizards at home. It did not look like they took the Wizards seriously, and it came back to bite them in the ass. So please treat this game like you would treat a game that you're playing against the Lakers or, you know, the Suns or the Heat or something. Like, treat this game like a real game, please, because sooner or later people are going to start taking the Celtics not very seriously when they have to play them. So
that might be a good
please.
thing.
Can I
Yeah,
say
well, I
one
mean,
more?
those-
One more, like add.
No, you
yeah,
can't.
I'm going to anyway. Play Aaron Nesmith, God damn it! I want to see Aaron Nesmith in a basketball game. Free Aaron Nesmith right now. See that? Played 1 minute in the last 4 games. That last minute was when the Celtics were down 14 after they blew a 19-point lead, and he got booed off the court, even though he didn't play a dang second in that game. Play Aaron Nesmith, Ime Udoka. I'll do anything. I'll play if that means Nesmith plays. We need Aaron. And what is the phrase of the week is mind-boggling, by the way, if you haven't been paying attention. What is so mind-boggling is Ime Udoka complains about the lack of effort, and the lack of defense, but we don't see Aaron Nesmith anywhere in the rotation. 1 minute in 4 games. Besides Marcus Smart, maybe Robert Williams as well, and Al Horford, he's one of the best hustlers, if not the best hustler on the team. We drafted him as a sharpshooter. This defense and hustling thing, we didn't know it. At least we didn't know too much about it. Now we do, and now we need Aaron Nesmith in the lineup.
Yeah,
look out for the mind-boggling and free Aaron Nesmith t-shirts out on the merch store soon.
Yeah,
well,
right.
Someone got to contact us for that one.
Aaron Nesmith has yet to score a basket this year. He has no points per game. He hasn't scored through 7 games.
That's ridiculous.
He's averaging like 0.1 of a second of the season.
He's averaging.
Why are we bearing this guy over Pritchard too? Like, Pritchard hasn't seen that many minutes, but he's getting some run on some nights. Why are we?
I don't know. Actually, that's a great point because especially in the game against Washington, where we were really struggling to knock down threes, I would have loved to see Aaron Nesmith get in there. And he was a guy coming into this year where we all thought was kind of potentially earn himself a starting spot to get that lingering starting role. We didn't that 4th or 5th slot. We didn't really know who's going to go to. We thought he could be in there. Obviously, Al Horford kind of took it over because of how well he's been playing. But it's kind of weird where Aaron Nesmith has kind of been locked up. And, Ime said that he's not too sure if he's ready. They're working with him. They have trust in him. And I don't know how much I believe that personally. I think Nesmith is ready. But, hopefully we'll see him tonight.
If they're so concerned about that, how come they don't send him down to Maine? If they're so concerned about him not being eligible, there we go, right there for hashtag free Aaron Nesmith. Do they think he might be a little bit above the G League, but at the same time he's just not ready for the NBA yet? Like, is that the type of thing it is for them? I mean, that's a little mind-boggling within itself. It leaves all of us speechless.
Email.
Free Aaron Nesmith. I got his jersey in the mail yesterday. I have 2 of his jerseys now. Don't tell me I wasted my money to see him play 1 minute. You
have an RJ Hunter jersey, though.
I do. Hey, dude, nobody else has an RJ Hunter Parquet Pride jersey, so I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Okay, all right. All right, so we got next segment here, over under. It's a fan favorite. Last outing, I want to say Seamus kind of dominated, right? He had 3 points.
I think so.
Yeah, but I'm on the comeback.
No, Ian dominated. Seamus had 2. Ian had 3.
Oh yeah,
I told you I'm on the comeback tour.
No, this was actually, I had this question. Now that I think of it, after the other night, we didn't have over 25 assists the other night.
No, we didn't.
Yeah,
20.
Okay. So I got that one wrong too, because that was the one we did 4.
Yeah, so we had
18.
We had 18 assists heading into the 4th quarter, I want to say. And then in the fourth quarter, he only had 2.
I remember thinking in the third, going, "Oh, this
it's hitting over 25." Yeah. So,
we're good.
So here we go. Obviously,
in the first quarter. Oh my lord.
Obviously, post game, Marcus Smart made his questionable comments, and he was kind of put under blast for it because he had 0 assists last game. However, so tonight's over under Marcus Smart 6 assists. Who's gonna go? I'm gonna say over.
Yeah, hold that J.
I'm going over.
Over 6.
Yeah.
I'm going under.
I'm going
not
under too.
Not
I'm
trying to
thinking
disrespect
5 or
Marcus
6.
Smart, but I don't see him as. I mean, he says he has good passing, but I haven't seen it yet, so I'm going under.
I think you're gonna see Marcus Smart come out and handle the ball all game,
and I hope he does, and I really do hope he does. I just haven't seen it yet.
Well,
I'm gonna go under, but I'm gonna pray I'm wrong.
How can he get 6 assists when he's only standing in the corner? I mean,
Oh no!
So I'm taking that's an under.
That's gonna get
Seamus.
clipped.
All right, so next one. This one should be what people would call a lock, right? But it could also not be. Jason Tatum over under 25 points tonight.
This is bad because normally
Orlando's a good defensive team.
Sure.
It's really sad that we have to
say
think
over.
this hard.
I'm also gonna say over. Don't forget, Jason Tatum is averaging how many? 23 a night,
25.
and he's 25, and he's having terrible games. God forbid. I hope, actually, God willing, I hope he doesn't shoot 23 or 33 shots on only 2 assists. But I'm gonna say over 25.
Even though he's shooting terribly, he's getting over 25 a night. But could be a game, of course, where we only have to play. You know, they might not play in the last couple minutes of the game. Hopefully, I'm gonna go over for Tatum, but I don't feel that comfortable about it against the Magic because I think they might be preserving for tomorrow night, which maybe shouldn't happen, but might happen. Not sure.
My gut says under, but my optimism says over. I'm going over.
Yeah.
All right. So our next one here, if you're on TikTok, go. If you don't, go follow Ian. But if you're on TikTok, and you might have seen someone in your For You page. You got that, like, what is it, Trent? Is it Trent? Or it's Trent. Yeah, book it, Trent, or something like that. And
yeah, he's hilarious.
So this one is a kind of a shout out to him. We got the idea from him for this particular one. It's Al Horford.
Book it with Trent.
Book it with Trent. It's Al Horford over under 8.5 rebounds. He said over. However, I'm starting this off. I'm going under. Now, Al's averaging 10, but the reason I'm going under is because Orlando's a big team. They have Wendell. They got Mo. They have Mo Bamba and Mo Wagner. 3 kind of big guys. I'm going to assume that this is kind of a guard-heavy rebound night, and we see guys like Brown, Smart, Tatum kind of rebounding. So I'm going under there.
I'm gonna let this Horford stock ride.
I will say in the video he did say Al Horford has gone over every single parlay. Yeah. Every single night he's played, he's gone over his rebound.
He's gone over. He's averaging.
Holding Horford stock. I'm going over.
I'm going over as well. Now, Rob, I'm going over, but I really like your point where this could be a guard-heavy rebounding night. Where, like, I kind of mentioned that earlier with Dennis Schroeder, we're going to have guys, that was my key to the game. We're going to have guys 1 through 5 rebound the basketball tonight, but I'm going to go over.
Ian?
Yeah, I'm going over. Young Al.
Went under.
It's okay. Al, it's okay.
I mean, yeah, that happened to me yesterday, and it worked. So, I mean,
pretty good.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think it's a guard-heavy rebounding night just because of the size. I think,
and it probably will be, honestly.
And mind you,
I see Al getting boxed out a lot. To be honest,
Orlando is a team who's made 15 plus threes every game here, so they like to shoot the 3 ball. So usually that means long rebounds. Usually means guard rebounds. However, the Celtics kind of had, like I said, an effort problem. So the long rebounds gives them an opportunity to get out and run. So, I want to see the Celtics really through 4 quarters here just get out and run the basket, run the ball and try to really beat this Orlando team. down to the ground. They should not be able to compete with them. So obviously we're coming close to tip here. Celtics versus Magic tip off in Orlando at the Amway Center. The first night of a back-to-back at 7:00. Guys, before we head out, you got any last words, last thoughts?
Yes. Ian is streaming the game. He's streaming it on TikTok.
Yes, Ian is streaming the game on TikTok.
And then right after that, like Rob said, right after the final buzzer, my little spiel. Grant Williams behind the back, buzzer beating, cartwheel 3. We will be back here. Free Aaron Nesmith. Aaron Nesmith will score 57.6 points tonight. And 0.6. He's going to do the impossible. Yes, I believe in him. But yeah, Celtics, I'm excited, guys. I really am.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good one.
Let's not be disappointed.
Hopefully, we're not back here for postgame to talk about one of the most atrocious losses of the season, even though somehow we've already done that 3 times.
Just when you think you can't get any worse, it does, Celtics fans.
Maybe you should guarantee us a loss, Seamus. So
absolutely mind-boggling.
We're gonna
all right. Well, like Justin says, come back here. Whatever. What? What did he say?
We're gonna win tonight against
No!
Yes!
No! That was mind-boggling.
Put the damn whiteboard away.
Oh, no.
All right,
take
guys.
Seamus off the screen, man.
This Orlando Magic tip-off just beginning just shortly, guys. Come back here after the final buzzer for Celtics Talk Weekly post-game show. Guys, if you want to go chat, talk about the game. During the game, Ian is talking about it during, he streams it on TikTok, so go watch it over there.